Welcome everyone to episode 35 of the Video Game Book Club. I'm Tubby Mora, and today I am joined by Bajerwin, Nakuso, Shaishen, Mr. McManmeat, and Soul Charizard. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
So this time around, we are going to be focusing on Project Wingman. This game was nominated and locked in by Soul Charizard since he had completed every Video Game Book Club from last year. Congrats, dude. Project Wingman was developed by Sector D2, published by Humble Games, and was originally released in December 2022 for PC. So on Humble Games' official page for Project Wingman, it reads, quote, Project Wingman is a combat flight action game with an emphasis on polished and refined gameplay, true to its roots, inspirations, and an engaging single-player experience. Perfect for those who aren't looking for a simulator experience with the ease of pickup and play, all the way to those who want a fast-paced, challenging flight action game. But that's how the website describes the game. How would everyone here describe the game? And the order of presenting will be Bajerwin, Shaishen, Mr. McManmeat, Soul Charizard, Nakuso, and then Tubby Mora. And please be advised that spoilers are on the table. And with that said, let's get started. Question 1. Describe the game in one sentence.
If you've ever played a wonderful multiplayer war game called War Thunder, and specifically main the planes, this is nothing like that. It's got the cool planes and it got destroying your enemies in common, but honestly, nothing alike, and honestly pretty enjoyable. Project Wingman is just a sophisticated. I'm pretty much a noob, but you know what I would consider pretty realistic controls.
It's just like the real life.
No, not like that. I mean, like if I in comparison to how I'd play, because the only other plane game I've played is War Thunder.
Still pretty good.
It's not the same at all. It's sophisticated. It's got layers like an onion, and some cheesy dialogue. Next.
Very good.
Whoa, what happened? Okay. Well, Throw
some shade.
Project Wingman.
Oh my god.
Project Ace Combat.
Yeah. I call it a flying. Oh my gosh, what's it called? Oh, okay. An aircraft simulator allowing you to destroy billions of government funds while sitting on your desk.
Amen.
Yeah. Next question. Next person.
No.
Cool. All right. I said Project Wingman is a beautifully crafted action dogfighter that takes place in a cataclysmic near future where you take to the skies as Monarch, a highly skilled, mute mercenary that takes the lives of hundreds, no, thousands of human beings because money. Next.
Dang. Okay.
Project Wingman is a mercenary with war crimes going on everywhere.
All right.
An intense flurry of emotion, stakes, and cries for a checkpoint as you test your piloting skills to liberate a country.
Oh.
And for money.
And for money.
Angry.
I love the
Prize
money.
for a checkpoint.
Oh, shoot. All right. Before I say my line, I need everyone to just close their eyes real quick. Close your eyes.
Eyes are closed.
Now picture me in a bear suit. Only you can prevent forest fires. Because if you know, you know. Next.
Oh no.
That was like layers.
There's a lot.
That was a lot.
That is all I could think of.
That is a good
Oh my
onion.
god. That's a thank
like
you.
that.
Thank you. It's nice
My
and sizzling.
imagination's going wild. Help.
I wish I thought of that.
Oh shit.
Exactly right.
Oh my god. It's just funny because only people who played the game would know what that even means. That's such an inside thing. Oh god. Okay.
For the
all
people
right.
at home,
There's something I want to show you guys after the recording, but I'll post right now. Just don't look at it Just don't look at it right now.
Okay. Sounds good, dude.
okay.
Okay. So let's move on to question 2. What platform did you play the game on? And briefly describe your playstyle towards the game.
So this time I played, sadly, because my red hyperlink USB controller, not sponsored, from Big Red's retro gaming store.
Plug in. Hell yeah.
It was not working, so I had to struggle and get confused on mouse and keyboard.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
I played it through the Game Pass on the PC, and I didn't buy every plane. I feel like that's part of this question. Because one, sometimes I just sucked at that mission, didn't get a lot of money. And other times because I really did not see a point in that plane. So I did buy a bunch, and I only used like 2, like regularly. My favorite one, and I noticed I used the most, was the SK-25U.
Cool.
I don't know.
Huh?
It's an attack plane.
You too?
Yeah, me too. Because in the third slot, the ASM, the anti-ship missile or whatever, that's a godsend thing. I'm just saying, it was great. It cut down my flight time.
Cut down your
especially on really hard missions where there's just a bunch of airships. So like that one, I think I used that one in my final fight too. And that's like one of the early planes.
If it works.
Yeah, but then I also had to switch after like I started on normal and I went the last 60% on easy because I'm a total noob to like more sophisticated it's the word of the day pilot flying game things. This is like the first one I've ever actually played. I've always seen my brother play it.
Yep, same here.
Never touched something this complicated before, so I had to go to easy because I was struggling. But I did it, and I'm proud. And I didn't have my freaking controller, so it was even harder.
You know what?
I've never played. I haven't played piano in years, and that's what it felt like. So yeah, that's how I played.
Respect.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Okay, before anybody calls me chicken or a wuss, okay, I'm really bad and I throw up easy.
Man.
I did VR for the first couple missions on Steam. It was really cool. Don't get me wrong, but you know, after lying out on the floor a couple times, I had to refund it and I got on the battle pass so I don't have to do it in VR, and I just continue it on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool.
2-year Jinter before VR.
No.
How many times did you vomit? Beer. How many times did you throw up?
Let's just say at least half of a gag.
It's not enough.
Oh, okay. Well, I was on the floor.
Dramamine, my guy.
Just kidding. Understandable.
Yeah, and then for the plane, what could I use? It was the really slow one with a bunch of bombs.
So the SK-25U.
Yeah, that one. Oh, I looked it up. Yeah, SK-25U. I used that, but then I used that plane to farm a bunch to get the Chimera, then I just and then I proceeded to use the Chimera the whole game.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, with the MLAG and MLAG-2 and FAA missile.
Yep.
I still need to unlock the whole planes too. I need to.
And yeah, that's very cool. Next,
flares all the way.
Ew, flares.
All right.
Okay. So I played Project Wingman on PC via Steam using an Xbox Series controller for the juicy price of $25. Let me tell you, it's worth every penny. And I should start by saying I played every Ace Combat up to Ace Combat 5. Yeah, I know. I'm a huge fan of these types of games. With all that aerial combat on my resume.
Dang.
I went straight into the game on normal difficulty. Now, you might be thinking, well, Mr. McMahon, if you're such a pro, why not play on harder mercenary?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mr. McMahon, tell me.
The answer is simple, my friends. I didn't say I was good. Yes, I have experience. That doesn't change the fact that I suck at a lot of things. Additionally, I did try out the harder difficulties, just have a peek. And what I found was a majority of my gameplay was pulling down on the left analog stick and pressing B as soon as my missiles locked onto something, anything, doesn't matter. But I mean, as bad as it would have been, playing the whole game like that, it wasn't exactly something that sounded like a pleasant experience to me. And I wanted my aerial murder spree to be as pleasant as possible. So normal difficulty was my sweet spot for the entirety of the story. As for aircrafts, my first purchase was the TF4. Nothing fancy. As soon as the FD14 was available for purchase, I bought that bad boy. I stuck with it for the big majority of the game. But then towards the end, when I unlocked the FS15, I bought it just to try it out. And boy, that thing is wild. It's wild, but it was a little too wild for my taste. You know, it felt a little strong, too OP. So I actually ended up going back to my sweet FD14, and that's where I remained for the rest of the game. And so my loadouts, they always consisted of the standard missiles, coupled with the MLAAs and the MLAGs. And so then after I beat the main story, I was still hungry for blood, despite the thousands of lives I'd taken during the campaign. But thankfully, the game offered an alternative mode called Conquest. I don't know if any of you guys tried that, but it's great. I hopped on that. But this time I tried Conquest on VR. I'll spare the details of how much fun the VR experience was. But Conquest mode, great addition to the game. I'm glad they added it. But yeah, I'm just rambling now. So next.
All right.
Okay, I played this on the Steam PC with a Xbox wireless controller. And I played this on hard mode.
Dang.
I can understand the whole. It still carries the whole missile alert system going off in my head. And oh boy, my first plane was the TF4. Then I went and I branched out a little bit into the CR-105, the interceptor. That's the MiG-31. Then I dabbled a bit with the SK-25 for like air to ground operations. I mostly like analyze how many enemies are going to be in the field, like the enemy air to air units or ground units. And I just adapt to it with what aircrafts I bought. And I stuck with the F-14 because it has, while it's more focused on dogfighting, it has some air to ground capabilities. And I didn't want to leave my co-pilot alone in the hangar. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Wow, very honorable.
Very honorable.
Is your co-pilot not always with you?
There are certain
Off on my
planes.
own.
Nah, it's all
There are
right.
certain planes that have a single seat. There are mostly planes that have single seat, and if you have like a two-seater, the co-pilot is named Prez.
I feel like I might have always
Wait,
picked...
really?
Yeah.
So I must have always picked planes that had
Two-seater?
co-pilot options because I didn't know
Yeah.
that
If you
could
go to
be alone sometimes.
Yeah, if you look at the plane, you'll notice that the canopy will only have like one or two seats.
Dude, I don't know plane biology.
Dang.
Yep.
I don't know the anatomy of a plane.
But yeah,
I had no idea. Okay, it's cool.
I
Yeah,
just
'cause-
assume she wasn't with you for that one mission. Wink wonk, you know.
or Top
You know what I'm
Top Gun
saying?
Maverick or Top Gun movies, they have the
Two-seater.
two-seaters.
Yeah, I know that. I didn't know that there were times that you didn't have to take her because
No,
you chose
you can
that place.
take her whenever. You can take her whenever. It's just
No,
like
but that's what I'm saying. I didn't know that there was even an option for that because I always picked planes that conveniently had her in it.
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So are you telling me that like depending on each mission, if you have her, you don't have her, she'll actually add voice lines or don't have voice
Yeah, there's
lines?
voice. Yeah,
Yep.
she'll have a voice line.
Wow.
If you
All right.
bring her when the.
Gotta change my score real quick. Let's
Well, but
I
yeah,
just always thought she was with me. I didn't even question it.
Yeah, that's cool though. I'm glad you mentioned
Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Whoa, okay.
and I tried out the Harrier jet, or it's what's called the Accipiter, which is almost like a hovering jet, and that was a fun one too. Just like slowing down your speed and just like picking up enemies off the ground. Of course,
I'm glad you could enjoy trying out different planes because I was stressed out just trying to beat each mission. So
yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, sadly I didn't get the experimental planes, so, but oh well, I can get them later. So yeah, that's about it. Next.
I bought and played this game on Steam for PC.
Mm-hmm.
I went through most of the game in VR and then like portion of it in flat screen to get both experiences so I could talk about it. Unfortunately, Tailman isn't here to bounce off the conversation of VR, so I'll have to do it alone. Oh my god. Well, I played in VR, half of it, mostly half in flat screen, also with a PS4 controller to pilot the planes. Most notably the old reliable SK-25.
Hell yeah.
I used the I was about to say C9. I was about to
oh shoot.
The MG29, the MG31, the FD14, the FE18, and for the first few missions, the T21 starter plane. I just bounced around a lot of them, and similar to So, depending on the mission of the ground or aerial units, I used that specific plane that would suit it best. I would say for most of the game, the SK-25U was greatly used just because there were so many ground units and a lot of missions. For like the aerial missions, especially Mission 11 Cold War, I used the FD-14, and near the end of the game for the last two missions, since I didn't know it would carry on to the final mission, I used the SK-25U. And that was probably my favorite just because, this is locking on to a billion things at once. Satisfying to like see how the missiles go off.
Love it.
It was really slow. It was like, oh my god, like some of those missions I used it. I was like, I should have probably used a quicker plane for some of those aerial missions, having 80 missiles coming at me at once. Oh, and also speaking of missiles, for most of the game, I didn't know how the flares worked. So I was dodging most of the missiles on normal difficulty. Pretty much.
Oh, really?
Flares.
If I didn't hear you talking about that the other day, I wouldn't have looked into it because I spent the first 5 missions dodging.
Good. See? No one uses flares.
But you're not the only one.
I did that afterward because I'm like, wait a second, they were talking about flares. I need to look this up. So I literally Googled how to use flares in Project Wingman.
I didn't know there was flares.
No! I only found out because Nakaso found out.
Oh.
I mean, I knew there was going to be flares.
I don't know. I've never played.
Oh, shoot. Shy, you didn't use flares at all?
No, I don't know, because I was like messing with controls for like the first 30 minutes. So I kind of knew there was already flares.
Oh, okay.
I only found out on accident that I can move the plane a little bit horizontally instead of like total turns. I only found out on accident because I started freaking out that I was gonna die. And then I pressed like Q and E or something, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a second! What is this?" No, not the flares. Those were like just the movement ones. The flares I only found out not from guessing, but because I overheard you talk about it. That's the only reason I knew.
Right place,
I had
right
no
time.
idea.
It was like I was freaking. Oh, that was crazy because I haven't played this type of game since like the PS2 era, so I kind of forgot everything about it. With the flares, I thought they were. I didn't even know. Like, I pressed a button before. I thought this was just like bombs. Then I was like wondering, why am I not destroying anything on the ground with these? Then it's like I googled it sometime after, then figured it out. And then made it
I know. I see.
Honestly, I didn't even use flares at all. Like for the rest of the game.
Get it? You're a god.
No, because you have the AOA thingy. You just go U-turn.
Oh,
AEA.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, where you like do
maneuvers.
Yeah, I had to look that up. I had no idea what that did.
Yeah, I mean, the tutorial didn't teach me any of this, so Anyway,
Yeah.
I
that's
mean,
true.
I watched Top Gun Maverick. I know flares are real. I just didn't know how to use them. Okay.
That's what I was basing my experience off of.
Yeah,
Top
I
Gun
totally.
Maverick.
I know they're real.
uh,
I didn't know. Okay, I don't know they had a keyboard in Top Gun Maverick that press H for flares.
you have the legitimate experience using your keyboard.
It was painful.
In the cockpit.
Oh
I
my
hated
god!
it.
For the most part, though, VR amazing. It's like I played some of it on flat screen, and then like some of the missions I went back to in VR. It's like a whole nother level in terms of like immersion. I can actually make a joke at the end of this. I could pull IGN, but I actually have it be more realistic.
Oh boy.
I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Next.
All right. Played the game on Steam. Bought it for full price because I thought I bought it on sale. So I bought that sucker for full price. It was worth it though. It was a great game. Used Xbox Series X controller. I played the game on normal difficulty and mostly in third person. I would switch to first person a couple times just to check it out, see how much vomit-inducing action I'm missing, and I just stuck with third person. Similar to a lot of you guys, I don't play this style of game. Like I had no interest in it at all. But watching Soul over the years, I did pick up a few things like the whole flare thing. I'm glad I was watching. Oh, and Top Gun Maverick, like Bajoran said, that's essentially what I used as my guide. Top Gun Hollywood movie and watching Soul crash multiple times and just playing the game in general. I went through the entire campaign and I mostly used the SK25U because that's our plane SK25U gang. Slapped a bunch of MLAGs, multi-lock anti-ground missiles on them. 8 rockets a day, every day, all day, every mission. It's just fun. Like Noxo said, it's just fun watching everything on the ground just die in synchronization.
I love turning my brain off.
I love it. Oonga boonga explosions. It's amazing. And then just like Shai Shen, the moment the Chimera was made available, because I didn't buy like any planes, I just swapped to that thing the moment it came up.
Yeah.
And I was done. I was just like, more M-lag.
This is easier.
Yeah, I freaking love it. The only other missile that I used, weapon I used was the SAA, the semi-active anti-air missiles. That's the one where it's like it does a high amount of damage, but you have to kind of like track the target. That just made it like more, I want to turn on my brain a couple times, so I use that. Make sure that the thing is still ticking up there. Other than that, yeah, that was my entire experience. It was fun. I enjoyed myself. Next. So, question 3. What is one thing you like about the game?
One thing, okay. So, I actually was caught off guard by some of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I actually changed my mind because, well, one, we talked about Top Gun Maverick, okay? So, like, there's something cheesy about the dialogue between the pilots, right? Yeah. And I love it.
The camaraderie.
No, seriously, I don't understand why. I think it was dumb sometimes. It was cheesy. Sometimes, like, the way they hyped up this mute protagonist.
You're wrong.
Everything you learned was from them talking all kinds of like praise to him, even the enemies. And I'm just like,
it's like, God, so cool.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow, I'm so cool. But I also know that I'm like playing on easy mode now with absolutely no idea how to properly make a turn without dive bombing back into Earth. I got over that, but that was. There was something else I wanted to say, but I kind of gave up, and that's the one. The dialogue.
The dialogue, camaraderie, constant praise.
It gave me, it made me happy. I'm like, shoot, I'm so cool.
Oh my God, the monarch, the king, he's here.
Oh, whoa. Oh, exactly, though. Because, like, there's something about, I guess it's because I play so many Ultimate games, there's a lot of silent protagonists that are just cool as heck, and the only reason you know you're cool is because everyone says you're cool.
Yep.
And, like, the final fight, I don't know, semi-spoiler, I guess?
Go for it.
nice, but like it gave me Kingdom Hearts 1 battle vibes. And I'm just like, how do I play? This is an anime airplane game. Like,
Yeah.
I have power friends on my side.
Yeah, Project Wingman.
And then
the fact that you're
the
just fighting
final fight is literally just Sora versus Ansem.
Love it,
There's
though.
3 phases. I'm just saying.
That was great.
3 phases plus an extra. Yeah. So like it hit me different. It was all kinds of cheesy.
It was fun though. It's fun cheese.
Yeah, but that's what I liked about it. But I'm like, I can't tell people this. I should say something like the soundtrack or like anything else.
The dialogue.
The anime cheesiness. Mac and cheese.
They really know. No, you're right. They really know how to hype you up. Just
Like,
all the praise they're slinging at you, and you're like, oh my god.
the
calm
cool
down.
call signs.
Yeah, the
Everyone
call
loves the
signs.
cool call signs.
Yep. And there's also even with the Cold War mission,
Mm-hmm.
that was something.
We're literally talking about killing people so casually too. Hitman's like, I live for this.
We just killed 18 people. Yeah, go team.
I'm just like,
What the
this is so bad. I love it.
Uh,
I love being a mercenary.
love the Merc life.
Merc life is for me. I didn't choose the Merc life. It chose me.
Jeez.
All right. Go for Shaishen.
All right. Thing I liked about the game. So usually I barely even touch airplane games.
Yeah.
And usually when I'm due, it's like in Battlefield or Call of Duty. And like working with I spent a bit of time on the controls and like just flying around to see how it works. I really like how everything was really tight. Like the controls are really good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Response, like especially with a plane and you're just doing dogfighting, flying around in a circle for 30 minutes trying to find where the heck the arrow is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't mind the actual I really enjoyed being able to just fly around without getting too confused.
Mhm.
I mean, there is some things where like the map wouldn't tell you like the altitude. I might be wrong. Someone correct me. But and then just like looking at, especially in the air when your view is literally 360 degrees all around you instead of like an X and Y axis like a shooter would be.
Uh-huh.
I really enjoyed how everything just was responsive and it made someone who doesn't play airplane games like caught it really easily. Like especially with the AOA limiter angle of attack. Like I got really used to that and I used it a lot and it just became really fun. Just how you can control your plane and how to move around in the air doing these dogfights, especially with the final bosses and stuff.
That was sick.
I really honestly I picked this up really well or really quickly, and I was able to just stay on my target and then having to everything on your screen is there. But yeah, I like the game. Gameplay pretty nice, pretty fun.
I like how I can't tell if that's the sky or the ocean.
Oh, and that.
Oh my god.
He's orange. I don't know. I never had issue with that. I don't know. Maybe
That's just me. I'm bad.
okay.
I'm bad. No, you're good.
But I picked up this game. I didn't really. Yeah, it was just fun. Like I picked it up really, really fast with like having the 360 degree like super fast turns, like catching these planes through the air.
Yeah, you are the monarch.
Yeah. Especially, okay, I'm just gonna throw this comment out there. You know how there's like that Crimson thing?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
You know there's like that one mission where you're supposed to run away?
Oh, let me guess, you fought him?
I'll just say that I was fighting him.
No.
Wow.
And I did not read the instructions.
It is possible though. You just need to get like a really good plane for it.
Yeah, well, no, I was using something with the AOA limiter. So I was like, I almost killed 2 planes, and I was like, why are these planes so fucking hard to kill?
Oh, that's
like, I got 2 of them really, really low, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can get this guy. And then I look at the top left, and I'm like, oh, it says to run. I was like fighting him for like the longest time.
I only realized after I was running out of all of my ammo.
Oh, I knew I needed to run.
Because like the missiles wasn't working, so I was like using my guns to kill these guys, and I'm like, why are these guys so good? And then I'm like, oh, I finally opened the map after like 10 minutes of fighting them.
That's why.
I knew I need to run, but I couldn't. If you saw my video on it, I was stubborn.
Yeah, actually, I had to pause the game and look it up a little, look real quick, like mission, like doing the mission, and it says to run, and I'm like, oh, I was like running out of missiles, running out of bullets, and I was like, oh, no wonder. Okay, okay, and then yeah, good controls, especially. Well, I mean, this game is catering to a flight sim, but
Yeah.
I feel like they did it pretty well for someone who doesn't have as much experience. Anyways, pass. Next.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with you. Controls were really easy to pick up. One thing I liked about the game, I got you, Nakuso, the VR experience. My God. Oof.
There we go.
that was a whole new ball game right there. I mean, I really didn't know what to expect at first because I've never played any VR flight games in the past or that much VR in general. But Project Wingman it was quite the treat, I must say. First impressions, navigating through the menus in VR, and it really wasn't too great. It's the same menu as before, but everything's blurrier and further away, so you really don't know what you're clicking on. But once you're out of the menus and in the cockpit, whew, it's so much fun. The experience, it's great. I mean, it's really hard to explain it until you actually try it for yourself. But I mean, like flying close to the ground gives you this huge sense of speed and this adrenaline rush. And naturally, because of like how immersive it is, I did find myself playing a lot safer because I did crash into the ground going 500 miles per hour in VR, and it made me want to crap my pants. But so yeah, I was I'm playing a lot safer, and so also when I played through the campaign, I was just using my controller and my laptop screen. And I was doing all these reckless loop-de-loops and these fancy, unnecessarily obnoxious maneuvers, and that was all fine and dandy on my on the laptop screen. But when you try to replicate all those maneuvers in VR, it's just straight up nauseating. So there was not much of that going on VR, but it's still fun though, because you can still whip around in your aircraft without having to experience like an ungodly amount of G-force on your body like you would in real life. One of the coolest experiences.
I have a question real quick. How much VR did you play?
Just Conquest. Or do you mean like in general?
Like in general.
In general, I got a VR headset like last Christmas, and I used it for like 2 months, and then my kids broke it.
Mm-hmm.
Rip.
I know what you need for this Christmas. Yay!
Yay! Yeah, but yeah, I just gotten like a new one or like replacement parts, so it's back up and running. But I like overall really not much. But I saw that this game offered it, so I was like, let's see what it's about. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, one of the coolest experience about playing in VR, it was being able to track down your enemies so easily just by looking around and turning your head. And then, in non-VR, you could use the right analog stick to look around. That's cool.
Not the same.
But yeah, I almost never used it, honestly. Instead, I just relied on the little arrow that pointed out the direction of my target, and I would just turn. But in VR, you still have that little arrow, but there's just something that's really satisfying about tilting your head up and just keeping your eyes on your target while you slowly get them into your line of sight so you can blow them into smithereens. You're just like looking at them. You're just like, yeah, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get you. And you just keep looking at them. You can keep looking at them. It's great. So yeah, definitely
just stare at him down and he'll cry.
You just stare him down. It's like your life is over. Your soul is mine. Except you don't actually say anything because you're a mute protagonist, but you're thinking it. But yeah, definitely gonna revisit the game again in the future. Play with it some more. It was that good of an experience. Next.
Okay. One thing I liked about it was that I had it. Hang on. Brain, work with me. I think I just. Oh yeah, I like the gameplay of it because in my previous Ace, I played Ace Combat, and it always gives me like only the main weapon and the secondary and the special weapon. No other multi slots for it.
I didn't know that.
Because in every Ace Com, as I said before, you only have like one standard missile and one special weapon, which is either a bomb or an air-to-air missile. And this game, it made me feel like I'm so glad that Project Wingman gave me the choice of like having multiple slots of weapons in my arsenal, and they had added like different kinds of weapons to it, like gun pods, rocket pods, other multi locking missiles, air-to-air missiles, or air-to-ground weaponries and stuff like that. It just makes it feel like an actual combat thing, or you're actually situated for actual combat, what you're trying to go for, instead of like having like only one standard missile and one special weapon. And I'm so glad that, and again, I'm so glad that Project Wingman has it. And I couldn't have any other less being an actual ace of having these kinds of multiple arsenals in my plane to go against the enemy like that.
So wait, you're saying that in the Ace Combat games, you're like way more limited compared to Project Wingman for like weapon selection?
Yeah, they only have like, well, excluding Ace Combat 3, since I'm slowly playing that. Ace Combat 4 through 7 only has a standard missile and special weapons. Only one you can only bring one to you with you.
Okay.
Because it was I don't think anyone ever noticed that at the time when it was like one of those games that's like an underdog kind of thing where it's like under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know that. And I think there was like some mods going on in Ace Combat 7 where you can have like multiple weapons selected, but with Project Wingman, they actually brought that to life in their own game as they were inspired by it.
It's cool.
So yeah,
Project Wingman better than Ace Combat? That's good.
If they continue this, then probably.
Oh shoot! Well, I mean, if Saul's saying it.
Oh shoot!
Oh man. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It could, if they keep this up, it might be equally on level with Ace Combat. So yeah, 2 aces going after each other like this, and then
what would you say? So what would you say Ace Combat does better?
Shoot.
All right, visuals.
Honestly, I want to categorize them by their games. Like Ace Combat 4, I would say they're good with their storytelling. Ace Combat 5, I'd say, yeah, same with story, but I do like the music. But I think gameplay,
which is better.
Gameplay wise, I had to say Ace Combat 0, but then again, I like the background of the pilots in Ace Combat 0 and how they all interact with the mercenary pilot there. I guess they also got that inspiration from that too. So yeah,
hard question.
Yep. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I like. Next.
So similar to Mr. McMahon, the VR experience is just amazing. Certain missions, especially when encountering a Crimson Squadron for the first time, Cold War Mission 11, which is dogfight above the air. It's like so many planes, and like Mission 15, everyone knows Mission 15. Consequence of Power.
Yep.
Oh, dude. Seeing that was like, I mean, it was like 11, I would say, and also 15. Seeing those missions and also the final mission in VR is just like an experience like I haven't felt like in a long time. Because, like eventually when you get used to things, so I got used to VR, so I got used to like a lot of the the wow factor. So for a long time, I was just kind of going with the motion with a lot of the games. There have been like a few exceptions, of course, but I haven't played VR in probably like 7 months. So for this game, I just wanted to play it again. I started it up. First few missions, like I just tackled in VR. It took like quite a while, especially like turning. Since I had my VR legs after having VR for a couple of years, I didn't get too sick. Even turning, since I got used to it, it wasn't too bad, but I definitely did feel it a little bit. Most of the time, though, just turning my head compared to playing on flat screen, oddly enough, was much easier. It's like I was surprised. First person, being able to turn my head at any time, then using the right stick was surprisingly a lot easier, and also aiming with the machine gun pods. Yeah, it's so weird because I also used first person, the cockpit mode on freaking the flat screen, and I still couldn't aim as well. So like I asked Towman about it, and he like gave me some tips about it and how the reticule works, and like, it made it a lot easier after that. So surprisingly enough, everything just played better, even though like when I played on flat screen, I mostly use third person. Sometimes I would use first person, but third person was just more comfortable for me. Even with seeing everything in third person, for some reason, this first person felt better. Overall, though, just like seeing Mission 15 and just that spectacle in VR, I literally, I told Tailman, I was like talking to him, like I asked, dude, did you like play Mission 15 in VR? He actually told me that he like cried a little bit because that's like that sound was just so haunting. Like seeing those cruise missiles just come down to the city, and like
God.
in VR, I noticed and it's a little bit different from the first person mode and flat screen. So for VR, when like the screen turns red, like it just looks super demonic, like more demonic than it does on flat screen. Then the aftermath, the freaking lightning coming down, like the screen, like the HUD is like so distorted. I could just like hear everything happening and just like see it up close. And not gonna lie, I was like the first time I like literally like was like shaking, like and like my heart was beating because it was like feels so real. And just like that experience like made this in like the top 3 moments so far in VR. And like if everyone else could like even experiences that part sometime in the future, like I highly recommend it. Mission 11 also dogfight, this the seeing like so many planes in a furball or whatever they call it. Oh man, yeah, the dogfights, the FD-14. That's the one that I use for that specific mission, so I could be a little bit more mobile. And just like seeing all that happening at the same time was really overwhelming. Like getting targeted by 50 Leslie missiles. It was adrenaline inducing, and the way that I played VR, I noticed my demeanor was more serious than when I was playing this flat screen. Like I was so focused on the target, like McMahon mentioned earlier. Like when you're just playing and you're focused on the target, yeah, blood in your eyes. You're like, it's just me and you.
No one else.
Especially, oh my god, for the final mission, that music and this like the atmosphere, like how they mixed the theme song and like the various music. Like, no, I just applaud them, and I'm so happy that they, went a mile. I'm not sure if it started with VR, but I'm just saying that mission, I could see like in general why Soul really likes this genre, and I'm gonna say that VR definitely helped. The flat screen experience also helped using different planes, and I just can't. I'm just a lack of words for
I know
how fun it was.
that's how I felt too, man.
Oh man. So like in the future, I highly recommend like, once you get used to VR to play Project Wingman. Since I know you would like just love that experience like so much.
Oh yeah.
So for me, what I liked about the game, this is actually very surprising. Because honestly, one of the reasons why I avoid these kind of games or like these military type games is I'm just not a big fan of that type of story. When they start like whipping out the military talk, Roger, Delta 49er, 3 bogeys approaching the vicinity. Country A and country B are engaged in endless war, and it's not really my thing. Where's all the dumb stuff? Where's the jumping into brain holes and fighting giant dragons? So it's like when I went into this, I didn't really think I would like it. In fact, like playing the first 2 or 3 missions, I was like, this is pretty dry in terms of story. But as we kept getting further and further along, and I think the turning point for me was when they introduced the Crimson Squadron, and they kind of just made it a vendetta to take you down because you're a god tier pilot. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I like it. The way they introduced them, the way they hyped them up to be like an incredibly scary unit, which if you looked at how they were maneuvering around you so easily, they were pretty intense. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then as we kept getting further and further in the storyline, it no longer became a story about helping rebels overthrow an empire or the Federation. Like, no, it took a huge turn. Just like my little comment about the forest fire thing. they started going into like the whole geothermal storms and tectonic disturbances, like, because usually in wars, like war scenarios, you just like, there's a victor and a loser. But I was so intrigued that they went the route of there are no winners in war, and they really just showed and how like it crescendo and built up that storyline. Like everything that we did, we kind of helped them, but also we kind of created, we really messed up. Like we created a series of unfortunate events that pretty much put the world in complete and utter chaos. And then it just
for money.
Yeah, for money. But it's just like, it makes you wonder, like, what would happen if a war of this scale did happen with currently where we're at in our own timeline.
Oh my gosh, you're crazy.
Not that I'm saying it's gonna happen, but it's always a possibility. It's just, it really made me think. I was like, yeah, this is exactly what happened.
Same.
We would just launch
about that too.
missiles on each other. But I was just not expecting such an emotional roller coaster ride with this game. I went in thinking, oh yeah, I'm a cool pilot killing other pilots. That's sick. But then I was surprised it left me thinking at the end. And the way it just ended, it's just you flying by yourself, watching the landscape, and then it goes face to black, and then the credits roll. I was like, damn. What the hell just happened? Is this where we're heading? Well done. I can imagine, and I can see why, Noxo, you and Tamman are like talking about like that emotion and that feeling. And I can imagine like seeing all that in VR. Oh geez. That would just like stay with you. Like it's that good. Like I think the last time I felt this way in like this military style game is when they launched the nuke in Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh boy.
Like, yeah, just that scene. Oh man. That's the same feeling I got. It's just, hopefully we don't head that direction. But here's hoping. Cheers. If not,
it's been an honor, everyone.
It's been an honor. We did pretty good in book club. Had a good run. But yeah, that's my thing. The story, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm happy. Well, I'm not happy. How do I say this? I'm happy that the story went that direction, but I'm not happy. It's a good story. That's it. Okay, next. Very, very confused. I'm very confused about that.
Mixed emotions.
It's good. It's leaning on the side of good. Okay, so I'm not a war criminal. Question 4. What is one thing you did not like, and how would you improve it?
Oh, I'm so sorry. My birds have a lot to say about this too.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
They have a lot of feelings about flying things, as they are pros themselves.
And not only that,
I'm so sorry.
not only that, with the forest fires in California,
Anyway, what me and my birds didn't like about Project Wingman. So like with the tutorial, right?
Mhm.
I have feelings about this. I actually didn't know there was freaking text on my screen for the first half of the first mission because the font color was just so, I don't know, I just couldn't read it. I didn't realize it was even there. I kind of thought it was part of something else.
Oof.
So I didn't know how to do anything for a whole mission. I had to restart the first mission so many times because I didn't understand what was happening. When I finally noticed there was font, like dialogue for the tutorial on how to do stuff, I had already missed most of it. And I tried to read, but because it's on a timer, I couldn't finish reading and understanding how to play this game.
Yeah.
And then because the NPCs are talking, my squirrel brain wants to listen to what they're saying, but also read the dialogue. And I also had subtitles on, so I wanted to read the subtitles as well as the tutorial. And honestly, to make that easier for me, would just have like, a text box or legible font color. And maybe like pause like the live action part of the game at least for the first mission, so that I can like read the tutorial and
like
understand
more
it.
accessibility options.
Yeah, at least for any of the times they have that tutorial section, and then they could sort of like restart it so that you have a fresh slide into the actual game part / finishing the mission. Because I don't know, I couldn't enjoy or understand the first 5 missions story-wise. It just became a hassle to understand because I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't read some of it. They also had a lot of slang I didn't understand. Not slang, but
Military
like their own
talk.
jargon.
Like
Yeah.
RTB.
Well, I know that one. That's not
RTB, baby.
Return to base. Duh, easy clap. But there were some other ones that were like plain specific that I'm like, I don't know what that means, man. what acronym is it?
Acronym soup.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I hope my NPC buddies can just translate that again, and they just keep talking like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. I don't know, I didn't understand, and then it became easier to like listen to them talk when I didn't have tutorials to read. So yeah, just make it accessible, please. That green is god awful. Like, I'm sorry, I love the game in every other way, but this was painful. That just like throwing you into it. Hey, by the way, there's a tutorial you have to read while you're also fending off enemies.
No big deal.
Not beginner friendly, at least.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you.
Okay.
Next.
Next.
Under this bus.
What?
No, nothing.
Okay. Anyways, the one thing I hated about this game,
Dang.
why were these?
Hate it.
Oh, sorry. And would improve. And would improve.
I absolutely despise.
But I freaking. Why were these missions so long? Dude, shorten the mission. It's okay. Like, I get it, like the story, blah blah. There's a war going on. And when it's told you watch out in Project Wingman, there's no checkpoints, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this game's gonna be annoying, or are you just gonna okay, whatever. So I'm like, checkpoints, no problem. If like the mission's like, we're fighting dogfights and stuff, that makes sense. But I just hated how most of the missions
20-25 minutes.
yeah, or just me. I was like, oh, nice. I get 150 missiles. That's pretty good. And I found out the 150 missiles are for the 150 tiny things you have to shoot from the bottom, like on the floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So luckily, well, I mean, like before I got the AOA limiter, dude, this game was such a chore just to go like, oh, a priority. And it's this little tiny SAM turret in the middle of, and it's like 4 miles away you have to go kill. And I'm like, dude, what is like, shorten the missions. like I don't know how airplane games are supposed to be like, but honestly, going around for 20 minutes, locking on to these things, and then having to turn around, lock onto it again, and then run out of missiles. So having to turn around and go down and do swoops back and forth on these giant terrains. Dude, I don't think that's.
If they had a better targeting system, then maybe it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't feel so long.
And then some of the missions were like, we have to destroy the whole area, and I'm like, oh,
all right, boss.
Sick.
I'm in.
Like I did get it. There's a lot of planes around you that help, but they're not, they're not as competent where you're like knocking down these things. Like before I got the newer planes who can hold more ground stuff. Yeah, I was just like the first couple minutes and the last couple minutes where we actually dogfighting was the best. But then having to shoot 50 tiny things on the screen at once. Yeah, that was like, I would say I would want you to shorten the mission because all of that stuff is just how do you call it? Like padding?
Game padding?
Game padding?
Like just bulk?
I thought you had the M lags.
I do have the M lags, but not when I don't have 80 of them.
Oh, okay.
What? You don't?
That's what I did. Dude, that was like the easiest part. That was like so quick.
I was surprised you said it took long. I don't know.
Oh, that was before I got new ships or not ships, but new planes.
Oh, okay. And once you get the newer ones, those missions are a lot quicker.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I did get the Chimera, or I did use the F-15 to farm a couple missions, like the one where you're going into the naval base and you're just shooting down all the
ships.
The ships.
Oh yeah, that one.
But that plane doesn't have AOA limiter, so you're having to fly down, swoop, go back up, do a hella slow turn, fly down, shoot, go up. I was like, I thought I was supposed to be fighting airplanes, not these dudes having lunch.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on what planes you decide to go for as well.
Yeah, it's just, I would just say, dude, shorten up the missions. It's like I'm slogging through these ground units. But pretty good. Yeah. Anyways, next.
Yeah. I agree with you. Those missions, they were long. One thing I didn't like about the game, not knowing which way was up, going through a thick layer of clouds only to end up nosediving into the ocean.
Ah, classic. Me too.
Just kidding. I love that part. It was great. It's part of the experience. One thing I actually didn't like, I'm going to kind of build off of you here, Shai Shan.
Yes.
Lack of checkpoints. I mean, the length of the missions, I think they would have been fine had the game, given you checkpoints. And I know in the game, in the beginning, it tells you straight up, it's like, hey, yo, no checkpoints. Back out now if you're a Lala. It's like, I can still be a big boy and have my checkpoints. I want my checkpoints. Why?
Dark Souls has checkpoints.
He's right though.
Yeah, but I mean, what are they going for here? Maybe they want you to get good, like it's some kind of Dark Souls title,
Oh wait, did Sekiro have checkpoints?
I have no idea. Never played.
I just heard that game was, controversial for not having an easier setting.
Oh, now those guys need to get good.
Yeah. Just curious. I'm saying. It's cool and I understand why you hate it. So I just want to say.
But yeah. I mean, I didn't expect it to, kind of feel like a Dark Souls title. And yeah, okay, fine. That's cool. But when you're like me and you just want to dick around in the sky, just have a good old time doing fancy flips and turns, get as close as you can to things without actually touching them and blowing up.
Playing chicken with the earth.
Exactly. Or other aircrafts, not having checkpoints. It was a nightmare. So, I mean, Project Wingman, I died a lot. Normal difficulty, whatever. I suck. Mostly because, I piloted my aircraft like an elementary school child and less because of, actual enemy rockets, missiles, whatever. Yeah, I was just trying to have fun. And, I didn't mind starting a level over. But if you're accident prone like me, starting the same level over and over and over, it got pretty old and really time consuming. And as I mostly played while I was at work, don't tell my boss. But I didn't have all the time in the world.
That explains the time you were playing. Yeah, I'm just saying. I noticed.
Oh crap! I'm not reporting. But there would be times I would be stuck on a level for like 2 to 3 days, because guess what? No checkpoints. And I know what you're thinking. Holy cow, Mr. McMahon, you sure do suck at this game.
Holy
right,
cow, Mr. McMahon.
But I just think this game should have checkpoints. I'm fine with the length of levels if it had checkpoints, but yeah, those levels were really long, and 20 to 30 minutes. You get to the very end of a mission only to die and then have to start that 20 to 30 minutes again. It doesn't feel very good, but I think checkpoints would have made that a lot less painful. Next.
One thing I really, really want in the game is just replay, like at the end of the mission, replays value. Just like watching your plane, like doing all these loops and how they're like tracking the missile and hitting their target.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I kind of hope they would. That I want them to add in their future in their next Project Wingman sequel.
Did they have that in Ace Combat?
Yeah, they do.
So
Yeah,
is it really that you don't like it because it's not Ace Combat?
Hey, I mean, you can't help but compare it.
No, I just thought it was funny. I
Yeah.
had to ask.
I agree.
I know,
That'd
but-
be sick.
Yeah, but I guess they don't know how to implement that, so I don't blame them for that. And
I think there was only a few people who worked on this.
Yeah.
yeah, there was a few. Yeah, I think you told me that. Not so. But yeah, that's just one thing I like. I want there to be in the next one.
Okay.
Oh well. Anyways, next.
Good idea.
Mick? Well, he kind of touched on the checkpoint thing. So I want to check on. I want to go on something else. So what is with those taking off on landing sequences?
Oh my god! Yeah. What
Yeah,
was that?
I was confused.
I feel like it's
They tell you can skip it actually and just
What?
throw
I
that
know,
out
but
there.
why? I know I could skip it, but why? Would they
Immersion.
have that?
Emergent.
I did it the first time, but it was cool the first time.
Yeah, I did it
No.
once and I turned it off.
I mean, it makes sense like the first time because I thought that was they teach you how to take off, and that was just going to be a core part of the game or something, and landing. But
It
it's
was
like
at the end. Remember? We had to actually land it
Oh,
just one time the entire game, like it was
oh yeah,
required.
that was.
Yeah,
I
see?
mean, it was like littered like randomly, like in like few missions, and it was like a cutscene that like went. It was like a cutscene that went there, then went to like the gameplay. I thought it was going to like loop somehow to like taking off to like transition to the gameplay.
yeah.
I was like so confused.
Did you on that mission at the end where it was like a runway you were driving past?
Yeah.
Did you try to land? Or am I just stupid?
Wait,
where?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Well, I did all the landing sequences and stuff, but like at the end, right? Like at the last mission, there's a landing sequence, but it's just a cutscene. So you're just flying over the landing sequence or the landing strip while everybody's like talking. My dumb. I was like, am I supposed to land the plane? So I'm flying and
Turn around.
I'm flying and I'm trying to land this plane. I was like, wow, this is actually really hard. And my plane explodes. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then I freaked out because I thought there was no checkpoint. So I had to redo the mission over again. And luckily it just redoes the cutscene for you. And I tried to land it again. I was like, am I doing this wrong? I found out it's just a cutscene. You just fly over it. And they're like, wow, that place is messed up. And then it ends.
Oh my god, no!
Unlucky,
Yeah.
Mike.
Wow.
I was like,
I don't think I want to fly to a fiery lava pit.
Yeah, for some reason I thought you were supposed to land there. I was like, oh.
I
I'm not supposed
mean, anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, let's take those out. Like, if we're gonna have a skip, I mean, I don't like. What's the point? Or like incorporate it to the gameplay better if they made it like into a sequel.
Yeah. Or just don't include it.
Yeah, just next.
Yeah, weirdos.
All right, so I'm gonna bring it back to that checkpoint thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that really is the major glaring flaw with this game. I really don't know how to feel about it. Like, I understand why they didn't do the checkpoint system. Like, because they want you, the player, to feel like every mission is your last, planning your every move, your every turn. You know, how you gonna manage your resources, whatever.
You say that for every game.
Whatever. But it's like, when we're talking about instant deaths, it's just, I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, but like I said in the Alien Isolation VGBC last year when I was talking about insta deaths, just because something is trying to stay true to its source material or its inspiration doesn't mean it makes for a good game mechanic. And with
how about Dark Souls?
With this one, that's another discussion.
Uh-oh.
For this in particular, and I think I discussed it with Nakuso, it's like for the lower difficulties, they should implement the checkpoint system, but the moment you go to like hard or higher, just, remove it at that point because you want a flawless run. But I think really that checkpoint system it's really painful, especially like the examples that you guys are saying, like what McMahon said, like you're nearing the end and then you turn away just for a brief second, a pole appears because there was a cloud in your eyeball.
Whoa!
Oh,
hey, that's
Who put that there?
Had that happen.
Yeah, no, I had that happen. Flying the really, really large plane.
That's funny.
It barely touches the tip of the
yeah.
I'm like, damn it! Frick!
I thought during that one mission where you're supposed to get the extractors, I was supposed to try to fly through it with a small plane. I did one, and then I died.
Do it.
No, but then I died because I got too close. I was on fire for a little bit, so then I just realized I can actually just get super low, highlight it, target it, hope my missiles hit it, and then fly away.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
Okay, because I was like, can I actually do it that way, or
you can do it?
Do I have to fly through this tunnel? And I'm like, I am not good at either of these options.
Not only it's an achievement if you do it.
You can fly your plane anywhere. Just don't touch anything.
I mean, one time I was really desperate to defeat one plane. I ran into it and hoped I wouldn't die right away.
Oh my god, has that happened to anybody yet?
Wait, say again?
Like you're doing a dogfight and you actually hit a plane?
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, I think I did that several times.
Classic.
Just a giant airships.
Most of the time I'm lucky and I'm able to start my guns, but since I'm running into them, I'll take damage, but they usually go down. I'm usually really desperate at that point. I'm like, please stop turning away from my missiles. I need to just run into you. I need point blank range.
Well, those airships are super deceptive. Like, because how slow they are, and you're like flying towards it, you're like, yeah, I'm totally gonna kill it before I reach that plane. And then next thing you know, you're like, what? Oh.
Pull up!
And that's why I really like that anti-ship missile. Just say it.
Yeah, it's funny though. Well, yeah, that checkpoint thing. I have other stuff, but it's just like that's really one of the big glaring problems. Which I'm going to ask you. So, how was the checkpoint system, Ace Combat? Was there one?
In Ace Combat 7, yeah.
Only in that one?
I think in Ace Combat 6 as well.
Okay, but it's not like this where 25 minute missions. If you mess up once, it's over.
Yep. You just have to restart back from the mission, and I'm fine without the checkpoint.
Oh, okay. Understandable.
All right. I mean, it makes sense. Maybe when you're like after I replayed some missions afterwards, and they went by like super quick, like 15 minutes. I was like, oh, that's fine having that. I think maybe it's like the initial one, the initial playthrough for a new player. Because I like looked online as well, and like there's a lot of people who are like new players who want to checkpoints, but the older player, like people who are used to like that series,
Not having checkpoints.
Kind of echo the same thing as so like it's not that bad. So I guess it's just is this a Souls situation? Like Dark Souls? This is like the Souls games. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
But it's like for a new player, it's like horrible when you. It's an interesting thing, but yeah, I still agree with what you said though. Easy and normal, checkpoints higher, keep it the same for the more experienced players.
Question 5. What is your final verdict and final rating from 0 to 10 using a 0.5 scale?
Project Wingman. By no means is a perfect game, but I mean, I can't really be a judge of a perfect airplane game. But for the first one, it's like, it has a lot of good, and you just have to plow through that painful beginning, because if you've never played a airplane simulation dogfight game, this is a rude awakening, because I'm so used to not moving opposite of the direction I'm pointing because of my keyboard. Yeah, you know, and of course I could change the key bindings, but I wouldn't even know it would make sense because this is an airplane. But it's like the closest someone who will never get a pilot's license will probably ever feel using a mouse and keyboard, if that makes sense. Like, it's meant to be a compliment, because now I kind of get that childish glee because of the killing of these. Sorry, like the flying part, like it's really cool, like being in the air, going super high and super fast, but also like explosions everywhere. This is what Klee feels like in Genshin Impact without the flying. And I see why my brother loved these flying games so much now, like growing up. So it's like, I wish I knew what a perfect one was like, but this is good enough for me. So I give this an 8 out of 10. I couldn't properly understand some of the plot because I didn't understand what was happening. But when I finally understood, I really enjoyed the camaraderie I really felt from my team. Because I never really went a mission without my co-pilot, which was also really cute. I low-key ship them. Even if I don't know who the protagonist is. It's mysterious like that.
Yeah, next. Like it.
Project Wingman. Pretty fun game. I enjoyed it, especially someone who doesn't even play flying games. And I don't even go into a plane in Battlefield. Pretty enjoyable experience, honestly. I was really lagged. Honestly, the voice acting, I did enjoy the voice acting. The story, pretty good, especially like it tried to hit you on the emotional feels. It just felt too much like just too much of a slog throughout a lot of the missions for destroying the land targets, especially for how much dogfighting I wanted. It was very nice. The UI was kind of not that great. The planes. Quick question: did you guys understand how to like equip weapons?
Yeah.
It
like the
took
first
me
half
a
of the
second.
game, no.
Yeah, for the first
three.
It took me like 5 minutes to see how do you start a game.
Yeah, the UI did not have a good time with the UI, especially for missiles and weapons. It does not explain, or the UI does not, especially when you're in the UI, it's half of the screen. You can use the other half of the screen to explain the missiles and what the plane does, because some of the planes don't explain that it uses heavy guns or light guns. So, I mean, you're looking to like refund some things. I had to refund a couple things because of the descriptions didn't really show me what the plane really did for the weapon systems, especially when there's abbreviations. I get it. After playing a while, you get where all the abbreviations mean. But coming into the game, I don't know what MLAG is. I don't know what MFFFA.
Multi-factor authentication.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know any of that. The UI was kind of crappy. It was fun. It felt like much of an arcade game. And then no checkpoints. That's such a big thing, especially if you just want to play and have fun. Especially for how easy it is to die, even when you're not experienced, you know, and you're not eased into the flying genre, was just not that great in my opinion. But still, it was a fun game. It's decent. I enjoyed it. So I'm giving Project Wingman a 7 out of 10.
Dang. Nice.
And then Pastor.
All right. Okay. Project Wingman. Bravo to the dev team and the supporters, for making this game happen. And thank you, Soul Charizard, for recommending this game, because I really did have a blast. Controls, they were easy and fluid. They were responsive. Everything, it felt satisfying. The graphics were stunning. The other effects and visuals, like the explosions, the missile trails, they gave the game that extra oomph that we all crave and desire. And the fact that the game even had a VR option was awesome to begin with. But I think, how well Project Wingman pulled it off. It's one of the best parts for me. And speaking of VR, cool fun fact: if you stand up if you start with a VR headset on and you're sitting down and you stand up, your head will actually come out of the cockpit. It's like
What the heck? Is that a trick?
Plus, your head's still attached to your body.
Yeah, because
awesome.
I had to stand up to readjust the cord, and I found out I could stick my head outside of the cockpit. I was like, whoa, it was really cool. But so where was I? Sitting through the mission briefings alone, that was immersive enough to really get my heart pounding and get you psyched for the mission. And the characters, they were so well fleshed out. I mean, you only get to know them through their dialogue and narrations. You never get to see their faces. But it was done so well that you felt really close to all of them towards the end. And I also found that it was really funny how you guys were mentioning earlier how everyone acts like they know you, but you never say a word. It's like, yeah, Monarch, he's my best friend, and you just
You just nod your head.
nothing.
At some point, you guys made a bet that you say nothing about.
It's so funny. But what else? See, the soundtrack. Holy crap. The soundtrack for this game. It was a bop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you'd agree with that.
Like these secret subgenre airplane games have good soundtracks.
Yep.
I'm confused. This is a thing.
They do.
No one told me this was a thing.
So epic. So
That's
epic.
how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
I was
And,
surprised.
The missions that I enjoyed and replayed the most were the missions with the hottest tracks. Mission 11 Cold War, for
Yup.
example. Oh my God. Whoever wrote that track is filthy. I love it.
Mhm.
I replayed that mission so many times. Like you start the level, you're high up. You're just welcomed with this great blue sky, and you see planes in front of you just going at it. And then you hear that track start playing, and you're approaching those planes, and you're just like, oh my God, it's gonna be good. It's going
Mhm.
down,
And then you emerge the victor, and then next thing you know, the Crimson Squadron music drops.
Yeah.
You're like, oh frick! I just used that.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Oh my god, my missiles.
Checkpoint, come on, please. No, but let's see. Conquest mode. Yeah, that was fun. It's for me, it was just as fun as the campaign, and it gives the player an opportunity to really enjoy the game even more if the main story just wasn't enough for you. And overall, for me, this game, it was such a joy. If you're a fan of Ace Combat or enjoyed dogfights, this game, it's a steal. And I think even if you're not into these types of games, I really don't doubt you'd enjoy your time playing it. I highly recommend it. In the end, I'm giving Project Wingman a 9 out of 10. Next.
Wow.
Okay, before I say that, you said you like that Cold War music.
Yep.
The Nation Cold War. I got the name.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so the music name is called Showdown, and it's created by Jose Pavli. I'll send the link right now.
You downloading it? Oh,
No,
wow.
good.
That was quick.
Yep. Yeah, that song is really good.
Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
That's gonna be my my pooping music.
Yeah.
Wow, dog fighting.
Dog.
Yeah. Project Wingman, the spirit, I could say it's a really great game. I like it. Good story, good characters. Kind of well, in my opinion, I wish there was cutscene, but it's just an indie game. I understand that, and there's some minor there's no replay value, but oh well, they'll still. I'm pretty sure they'll add that in their future games. And I love the gameplay and I love the gameplay and all music. Again, the music. This I'm giving this. There's some minor issues I have here and there, like where these airships come from, and learn a bit more of the story of where like where they get these airships and stuff, or a bit more of the like the whole calamity thing. But I guess that's just me. I'm giving this game a 9 out of 10. Next.
All right.
I went into this game thinking that the experience would be rough, especially after playing the first 3 missions. I was like, man, I might have to take a hit. I was like, this is like the first time. I'm gonna be honest. This is the first time I was contemplating doing video game.
Our Twitter message exchanges. We still got 3 strikes.
I was like, man, do I really want to play through this? But then it wasn't until Homestead, the mission that's like in the snowy reddish sky hue. It was like one mission, I think, or 2 missions before the Crimson Squad one where they appear. Something just like clicked. I got immersed in the game. The environments kind of like just became better looking than like the first few missions, and then also the music just like went hard out of nowhere. I was like, what?
It's
like,
one of those. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was like, what? Oh my god! It is like after I kind of learned more about how to dodge missiles, and it wasn't really until like mission 11 with the Cold War, it's like where I decided to like just go hard, and it's like where I really got into the game, and like the checkpoint system, and it definitely, in my opinion, could still be added. Like I guess since we are like new to this whole genre, at least everyone besides McMahon, me, and Soul for the most part, like just having those options would have been a lot better, at least on easy and normal. The game in VR is like probably where it exceeded my expectations. Not only did it give me anxiety, unlike other games, I also got adrenaline and a sense of happiness when usually like fulfilling a mission. Like it's kind of weird in a way. The not having a checkpoint also made it like the stakes more high. So I was like, man, I really had to focus on this mission to complete it. So it's like weird. It's like I really liked it, but at the same time, I wanted to check with such a funny feeling. But like after beating that mission, it does like feel fulfilling that you did it. Man, I survived for like 20 minutes or 25 minutes. And it did like really give me a sense of accomplishment. So overall, in terms of the experience that I experienced in VR and flat screen, the music, the dialogue, and also just the amount of planes and a variety of like how each of them play, I give this game a 9 out of 10. Way higher than like originally. This is like not gonna lie, it's like a 6.
Dang.
Wow.
6 to 9.
Yeah, but like after like it clicked for me, and it's like I just knew what flares did. I found out how to use machine gun pods. That's where everything just got so much better. And then after mission 11, it's kind of where like each mission, everything just got higher and higher in terms of stakes and the gameplay, and it's like the story overall, the camaraderie between you and your squad, and then the Crimson Squad rivalry, and then the boss missions. It's like all together. Then the final mission with the King's track, kind of just playing. It's like freaking epic. It's like just like that boss fight, like how cool it was, and like they brought in like a couple new things, and then the sense of beating the final boss and like seeing him crash to the ground while also like contemplating like, what was this all for and stuff in the end. Like,
Was it all worth
it was just like, it really makes you think, like, Tubby, you said earlier, like it just hit different. It hit different. Next.
So, like I said before, growing up, I really, really did not like this game genre. I didn't care about aircrafts. I don't like military talk. I don't like military campaigns. It's just, I just didn't like it, which is pretty weird because I hung out with Soul a lot, and he absolutely loved these style of games, and he would always try to like show these Ace Combat games to me, and I would just keep pretty much shutting it down. Like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then I just go do look at something else. I was dumb. I was foolish. If I could go back in time, I would like slap myself and like, because the moment I saw these games, I was like, I'm not interested. Like, don't even show that to me. But now that I'm like at this point where we have to actually sit down and play it, so I just gotta say, man, I am so sorry. I apologize. I was pleasantly surprised, dude. Like, this game just really opened my eyes to how awesome this style of game is. This game series. I'm actually, because of this, I'm definitely willing to like try more like Ace Combat in the future. But it definitely didn't like start out like that though. When I first plugged in the game, just like Nakaso, I was hating every single moment. I was like, this is about what I expected. Lock on, press a button, it's dead. Am I gonna do this the entire time? Is this it? Is this all it is? And then, like, similar to Nakaso, things just started clicking into place. Mission 3, when they introduced the Crimson Squadron, they started playing their theme song. I was like, what is this? This is pretty sick. And then Mission 6 or 7, when they start to introduce the weather effects, having you to fly low, avoiding the thunder. I freaking turned up like all my speakers to the max volume and just like to really get that immersion. I'm like, oh my god, this is freaking sick. And then Mission 11, like everyone that keeps mentioning it, all the dogfight, all the planes, the hundreds of planes in the air, amazing. Just I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was insane. And then of course mix in with again, I'm gonna say Top Gun again because it's a great movie, Top Gun Maverick. I can see why you were so interested in these style games, and you continue to be interested in this stuff. And I'm with you, man. This game was fun. The game was intense. Getting locked into aircraft to aircraft dogfights, dodging and weaving through missiles, and then once you get that part of your brain to learn how to like swap between the different weapon types and just experiment, it's great. Add in that heart pounding, head bopping soundtrack that McMahon was talking about. It culminated to an awesome game experience. And the story, again, that caught me way off guard. I was not expecting to actually get attached to my squad and the characters. I was just like, wow, this is an experience. And I'm glad that you nominated this. I'm glad that you locked it in. Because I tell you right now, if it wasn't for book club, I would not have touched this or even looked at these kind of games. And I can say after 2 years, this is probably the first time I am like very surprised by something. Like I just enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I'm not okay. So I guess I should say my score first. I'm giving Project Wingman an 8 out of 10. So I still think the game is really good. It's actually really, really good. But I'm kind of leaving that space because I want to see what else this genre has to offer. Like Project Wingman was an awesome experience, but I feel like they can bring a little bit more. They already brought a lot, but I'm waiting for something else. I don't know.
Checkpoints.
Checkpoints. There you go. That right there. 10 out of 10. Now I was like thinking like what they could have added, but again, these are like small things, and this is just more detail oriented. As your plane's getting damaged, maybe they show. Yeah, then again, that's just like limitations of hardware, though. I'm pretty sure as time progresses, or in their next game, they're probably going to add more detail with, your plane getting destroyed as you're continuing the fights. But again, those are all like small, minute things. But usually, when games start to approach the 9 territory for me, they really have to add that extra flair. Like again, Psychonauts. Did they have to really code in? Everyone's voice lines for every single NPC that you look into their mind and they view you differently or hear what they have to say. It's like, no, they didn't. But that's that extra thing that really pushes a game to the top. And then I have a feeling that if they do another Project Wingman, like a sequel, I'm pretty sure it's going to be stellar. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, I'm going to give Project Wingman 8 angry Crimson Squadron dudes out of 10. Thank you again, Soul. It was a great experience. So, with that said, Project Wingman gets our final average rating of 83.3% or 50 out of 60. Thanks for playing. GG's. Woo. But
wow,
enough of that. We're done with that. It's
Enough.
bonus mystery question time. Bonus mystery questions were prepared ahead of time by everyone here, but no one knows who or what will be asking the question. It is time to spin the wheel of mystery. Spinning it now. Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop.
The only military game I've ever seen you probably play would be like
Call of Duty. No, Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, no, Call of Duty would be like actually enjoyed a military game.
Like zombies.
You didn't enjoy Call of Duty?
Yeah, no, Call of Duty. But like the only other like strategic thing I can think of with a story.
Yeah, it's just the Modern Warfare, like the first and second game. AKA
How
the
about
new.
Battlefield?
I mean I like the more realistic aspect of it, and I just never got into it. Also, by the way, so you're on a roll, dude. It's you again for the question.
What can I say? My gotcha luck.
I guess so.
Jury's over.
Yeah, ask away. What you got?
All right. If you can add,
Uh-oh.
All right.
Why is he laughing
All right.
already?
Is it like the Genshin one?
No. Oh no.
Okay.
I'm just like thinking of shy. She's gonna say, okay.
What?
What?
It's not crazy. If you can add an aircraft to the game from any other series, whether in fiction or nonfiction, what would it be?
Oh.
Okay.
But
Okay, where's
it
the
has to
legal
fly.
limit?
Has to fly?
Oh, anything you want.
As long as it
Anything.
flies.
Any aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah, has to fly.
Any aircraft. I'm gonna take that
Any
to heart.
aircraft. Literally any aircraft.
Yes,
as long as
any.
it flies.
As long as it flies for at least
As
5
long-
seconds.
As long as it can sustain air for at least 10 seconds.
Like any games or TV shows you've played or watched.
And
Yeah, anything.
Tony Hawk B-50 bomber.
Yes, if you want.
Oh shoot. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start the 60-second timer for us to think. Now.
So, I really, truly considered the gummy ship from Kingdom Hearts, right? But why would I?
Whoa.
Why would I lower myself to that when I could have the magic bomber Christina, owned by Blue Pegasus from the anime Fairy Tale?
Wow. I gotta look this up.
What?
What's it called?
Christina. She's the magic bomber Christina, owned by the Magic Guild. Blue Pegasus from the hit anime series Fairy Tail.
I'm looking it up.
Please.
I had to look it up. I don't know what that is.
I see
It's a
it.
magical flying weapon
Dang.
with wings and stuff. Because like I wanted something fun, something unique, something that stands out. And I thought about like Evangelion, but I don't remember if any of those robots can fly for longer than 10 seconds, so I didn't want to deal with it. The technicalities. And I didn't know about Robotech either. So I was like, okay, this is the next best thing. It's impactful, it's big, it's gorgeous, it's a bomber.
Is that like a horse?
Yeah,
I
guess.
Classic.
Didn't you watch some of Fairy Tail?
I don't remember the B-52
I feel like is that
bomber.
far into the anime? I don't remember seeing that.
This happens in like the first 4 seasons at some point.
Oh my god, it's only
Oh.
episode 53.
There you go.
I don't
Yeah, well, I
remember
saw-
this.
I saw
It's
episode
really-
53 in like 2003.
It wasn't even out in 2003.
I don't know.
But yeah, like it's one of those things that's like used for an arc and doesn't come back till a random other arc that they reappear in, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's like, yeah. It's only known when you see it in that moment. But it had an impact on me, okay? Because they have a lot of pretty boys driving the ship around.
Okay.
They
Understandable.
literally, spoiler for Fairy Tail, use it to like try to kill a really strong enemy for the Fairy Tail people. It was cool.
And it doesn't work, right?
It doesn't. Of course it doesn't.
Yeah, of course
you
it doesn't.
You need the main characters to use the power of friendship.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Jeez.
That's a close second to the Jade Chamber, though. So I'm saying. Sorry, what?
That would have been good. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So what I thought of, right? Although having a Decepticon flying through the air would be a great idea, I remember this game being very emotional at the end, with all the pilots being like, "Oh my god, we killed the world." So you know what else is emotional? The the Disney movie or the Pixar movie Planes.
Hello?
Dang it. All right, I'll let you have it.
Oh, you had that one?
That's okay, go for it.
Disney's Pixar's Planes. So imagine, you know how there was war crimes going on with nukes?
Yeah.
Well,
No.
when your plane gets shot, your plane starts talking to you. He's like, "Oh, wait, Monarch, I'm not gonna make it. Please tell my baby I'm not gonna make it." And it's like a baby is like a little toy plane, like a little RC car.
Oh gosh, this is traumatizing.
And then instead of hearing the pilots out in the air going like, "Roger, Dart, we're coming down," you just hear people, all the planes, and their eyes just yelling. You just hear yelling.
So dark.
I'm on fire!
when pilots eject and they leave their planes to crash.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh
Man, there's a lot I can work with on this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Project Planes.
yeah. No, because technically the planes would be dead because you're the brain, so they just go brain dead when you eject.
Oh, that's even worse.
They're just
They have
flying their
feelings.
carcass
Yeah.
around. Just flying
And
their
you
carcass.
know when you're like shooting down that ground targets,
Yeah.
all those ground targets are specific characters, like Mater as a tank, and you're shooting him down with M-Lags.
Gives me the Golden Compass vibes.
He's like, "Lightning McQueen, I can feel a missile coming." Boom.
Maybe it's like the Golden Compass, where they all have like animal partners, and in this case, you have equipment.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
these are just
God.
war
You can live
torn.
without the weapons, but the weapons can't live without you.
Yeah, that's the planes. These planes have hearts and feelings.
Project Planes. Who would have
Project Planes.
That's great.
It's like yeah. All right.
All right, I'm glad someone said it.
Say one.
That was great. Okay. If I could bring any aircraft into the game, I would bring the Magic School Bus.
Oh my god! All these keyboards.
Now, this is great because you could have a co-pilot or co-pilots. Your co-pilot would be obviously Miss
All
Frizzle,
smart children.
and then you got children in the back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Magic School Bus. When you're looking at it in the aircraft selection menu, you can tell it specializes in anti-ground. So there's going to be a lot of that capability with the Magic School Bus, and you can with the Magic School Bus you can land whenever you want because the wheels are always down. So that's a great plus. So it's really easy to take out anti-ground targets.
Ooh, good.
Yeah, just imagine, like the mission, when like the whole world is just going to crap, the missiles are coming in.
You just played the
it's
theme,
like blowing up everything
song?
in the ground, and then you're just in the Magic School Bus, and the world is getting set to flames.
Miss Frizzle's just freaking out.
No,
she just vibes with it.
she's continuing the lesson. Class. This is why we don't.
This is how you take a life.
Yep.
She just vibes with it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, best field trip ever. 10 out of 10.
This is where you're definitely gonna need to wear seatbelts for this.
Yeah, and if you want to like dodge missiles, the Magic School Bus will just shrink.
Beep beep.
It's beep beep. It shrinks. It's the alternative to flares. Yeah, Magic School Bus. Next.
Oh my
Educational
god.
Oh my god. These answers are so stupid.
I'm probably gonna be the only one that's gonna be serious about this.
All right, go for it, Soul.
I don't know about planes, man.
I'm serious.
Are you? Are you
Yes.
sure about that?
Mine has.
Send it to Pixar.
I don't know if they'll take that. So I'm just saying. But anyways, there's this one plane I like in the Ace Combat series. It's called the Fenrir. What it does, it actually camouflages. So if I ever get tracked by enemies, I can just like use the cloaking device, just like stay invisible for a short amount of time before I go up right behind the enemy. But yeah, that's really it. Next.
Oh,
and I forgot to mention that it has an high yield explosive missile that can destroy anything, like a small group of enemies.
School buses.
Yeah. All right. Officially next.
jeez.
God damn.
All right. Well, this makes a lot of sense. Games these days, they have a lot of microtransactions, right?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Oh no.
No, it's everything. It's everything.
Oh.
We're going back. We're going back. PS2 era.
Ooh.
We're going to be unlocking this secret plane, and this is so dumb. So you have all these planes in here. Why don't you have a paper plane?
Wow.
Paper plane.
I like
There you
it.
go.
Project Wingman?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so this paper plane, can be unlocked, but the stipulation is you have to not get hit in any of the missions. So 21 perfect missions.
Wow.
When you unlock this plane, it has unlimited machine pods, but it does minimal damage. However, it has paper rockets that can lock onto as many ships as you can see. It's a one shot. So,
Oh, to one
So,
shot.
if you love the MLAG, you'll love this paper rockets. And to go with the whole paper plane aspect, you have the sound effects of someone making paper plane noises like so as people are dying by some really dumb sounds, it makes it humorous and also horrifying at the same time. I have to mention that this plane has amazing turn rate. So
That's good. You got the
this is
stats.
good for Shai Shin
Oh,
specifically.
thanks.
Yeah. He likes his mobility, so this has the highest mobility in the game. And then when
Oh.
it crashes, because running into pose, I got you. It just crumples, just like just crumbles into a ball. And then going with Wingman need here. So he has a magic school bus. Shai-Chen had the planes from planes. And also, So had his realistic one, but Jern had the fairy tale one. So since this is a paper plane, it might as well be able to transform into any other aircraft, landcraft, or ship. Since the whole theme of
it's an origami plane.
Anything, yeah.
Origami.
So anything could transform.
Heavy rain.
Is it life size? The life size?
This paper plane, no, it's just like a realistic.
Oh,
to make it right now.
8.5 by 11.
Also gets a small hitbox. Plane is super broken, but it's you have to not die in 21 missions, so it has to be. Dang. Next.
That's hard. What to pick? As long as it's flying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 seconds depending how you throw it and lifts off.
Man. Okay, so as long as it lasts in the air for 10 seconds or more. All right. So, okay, just picture this. You're playing Project Wingman. You have all the missiles you need. Problem is the targeting system is not very good. So, for this particular question, the one I would like to throw into this game would be the Acme rocket with Wile E. Coyote.
Let's go.
Oh shit.
So
multiverse?
Basically, it's multiverses. So pretty much in the game, every time you launch a missile, you're playing as this is the very first game of this type. You're playing as Wile E. Coyote. And you have to maneuver the rocket towards each of the planes. And then after you successfully explode a plane and you're falling, you have to latch onto another plane and load yourself back up.
Oh,
the next rocket.
Why does it sound like a Battlefield thing?
Yeah, I thought it sounded like a legit game.
That's
It could work. So yeah, that was that would be my quote unquote flying object. Would be the Acme rocket Wile E. Coyote combo. It was either that or Stuart Little when he's in a toy plane.
He has a small, it's small, so he can't get hit.
So the little kid, that he was attached to. Well, he actually joined the Federation.
Oh,
so your goal as Stuart Little is to reunite with your boy. Well, I mean he's a man now, but you have to reunite with him.
Oh no,
it's a little tiny toy plane. during these combat scenarios, but officially I'm going to go with Wile E. Coyote rocket. It just sounds like a better game.
Oh man.
Okay, so thank you, Nakuso, for that question. That was there's some interesting answers. I like it. So that concludes this episode of Video Game Book Club. Thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this podcast, feel free to like, follow, subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Patreon, whatever platform you can find us on. Links in the description box below. Take care. Have a good one. And going forward, if you would like to join and play alongside us, be sure to keep a lookout for our VGBC announcement videos over on YouTube. So with that said, we'll catch you in the next episode of Video Game Book Club. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.